Da-da-da-dum, ba-dum, ba-dum, bum. I am a great big giant. I live in a castle. I am king of the forest. I am a great big giant. The world is mine. I don't care who I hurt. Ba-da-dum, ba-dum, ba-dum, bum, bum.
Well, hello there. Ruby here. I tell you what, I've been on my feet all day, and I just sat down to relax. My feet are terribly sore, but I do love wearing these purple shoes. Do you have a favorite pair of shoes you enjoy wearing? Ah, yes. I remember when I was about your age, I loved wearing those kinds of shoes too. Speaking of shoes, I have an idea. Let me tell you a story about a little old lady who actually lived in a shoe. Are you ready, my friends? Let's begin. Once upon a time, there was a little old lady who lived in a shoe. The shoe stood near a great big forest, and it was such a big shoe that it served as a house for the little old lady and all of her children. She had so many children she didn't know what to do. She would occasionally lose track of them and sometimes even forgot their names. Do you have any brothers or sisters? That's wonderful to hear. Well, the little old woman adored her children, all 6 of them. Make your beds and get dressed. Come outside and line up, and I will tell you what we have to do for the day, said the mom. The children brushed their teeth, got dressed, made their beds, and lined up outside. Strong Arm, the oldest boy, lined up and said,
I'm ready, Mom. What do I need to do today?
Let's have you cut down a few trees so we can have some firewood.
Peter, the middle child, lined up.
What about me, Mom? What would you like me to do?
Let's have you make some baskets of wickerwork.
Then we have Mark.
Mark, let's have you do a little gardening and pick some squash from the garden.
And then we have Jenny.
What shall I do, Mommy? Let's have you make some bread for us to eat tonight.
As Jenny was very good at baking. And lastly, the adorable young twins, Timmy and Jimmy. Their job was to keep an eye out for any danger coming nearby. Now, I bet you are wondering why in the world this little family is living in a big shoe out in the forest, right? Let me tell you what happened. The little old lady, her husband Stephen, and their 6 children used to live in a cottage covered with ivy out in the woods. They were very happy there, but they always knew that there was danger not too far away from them. A few miles away, there stood a huge castle. And can you guess who lived in this castle? You're right, a great, big, fierce, ugly giant who one day was trampling through the forest. And every step he would take, he would knock down trees and not even know he was doing it. Nor did he care what he destroyed. He was a giant that never looked out for anyone but himself.
I am a great big giant. I live in a castle. I am king of the forest. I am a great big giant. The world is mine. I don't care who I hurt.
Well, sure enough, the giant trampled and destroyed the old lady's charming little home, crushed it into small little pieces. Thankfully, the little old lady and her family were not in the house. They were on a boat out at the lake, enjoying the day fishing, and had no idea what lay in store for them when they returned home.
Let's get home so we can fry up some fish and have a wonderful dinner.
Little Jenny made some fresh bread. Peter made a beautiful basket to put the fish in. Mark picked some fresh squash, and Strong Arm gathered wood for the fire.
tonight's dinner is going to be wonderful,"
said the little old lady.
Let's get home, my dear. I can hardly wait for the delicious meal,
said the husband. The family arrived home to a house that was destroyed, and in its place was a big, giant shoe. But the family decided they would make something good out of something bad. They worked together and made the shoe their home. They didn't get discouraged, even though they lost their home.
"If we work together, we can make this shoe something amazing,"
cried the mother. So Strong Arm cut some trees down and made a roof for the shoe, as well as a front door. The other children pitched in with their chores, and before you know it, the house was beautiful, even though it once belonged to that big, fierce giant. But that's not the end of the story. The family was visited by a fairy and told them the giant was furious about losing his shoe, and he was coming out to the forest to look for it very soon. This made the family very frustrated and worried, as they didn't want to lose the shoe that they made into a home.
Children, let's put on our armor and go to the castle and tell that giant once and for all to stop stomping around in the forest and to leave his shoe to us. The shoe is our home now, said the father. So the children and the father suit up and off they go in a line, just like an army, to confront this ferocious giant once and for all. Who's there? Who's there? Screamed the giant, as he didn't see the family standing at his feet. The family quickly pulled out all the stones they had and started throwing them at the giant's knees. Ouch! 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 Screamed the giant. He looked down and saw the family and let out a giant roar. I am going to destroy you. And as he took one step, the family had used a rope to hold steady in a line, and wouldn't you know it, the giant tripped and fell flat on his tummy.
"Leave us alone and let us live in peace,"
cried the children. And at that very moment, the giant suddenly felt changed. Maybe he needed a little scolding after all. You're right, little family. Go and live in peace. I will travel no more to the forest, trampling on trees and destroying nature, and you may live in my shoe forever. And from that moment on, the little old lady, her husband, and all her lovely children lived in the shoe and enjoyed every day in the forest. Thank you for joining me here on Family Roberto. I hope you enjoyed this story. And remember, always try to make something good out of something not so good. Like the little old lady who lived in the shoe. Whew! Now, if you will excuse me, I'm going to go take off my shoes, grab a cup of tea, and relax for the rest of the evening. Take care, my friends. Bye for now.